Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show on ET now. Well, it's time for our Spend with TMS segment, and this time around, we thought of touching base with Nikhil Chawla, the founder of the Unbars blog. We haven't got in touch with him for our latest dose of technology that we must have in our hands. So, Nikhil, thank you so much for joining us today on The Money Show. I think lots to discuss, really. Firstly, we have lots of new phones, again, in the budget category from MI and Redmi. We have something very interesting that's being launched by Xiaomi as well, uninstalling system apps. And then in the extremely premium category, a foldable Huawei phone. I'm not sure which one should we discuss first, but what are you watching out for the most in the next couple of months?
I think it's going to be the budget category. And as we saw that so many launches happened during the pandemic, and everybody is very much dependent on smartphones, be it a child's education, your work, or everything. A lot of people are dependent on that smartphone, and especially because this is something that everybody's trying to buy. And some people are also buying dedicated smartphones in the category of 10 to 15,000 rupees for their kids for like an education phone, just for studies and all. So that's where I think the crux is. This is what we should be talking about. And as you mentioned, so many launches, so many options now, and we'll be seeing a lot more options happening throughout February, because this is when the MWC used to happen, the Mobile World Congress in Spain, though it won't be happening at this time of the year. But again, it will go on, and we'll see a lot of launches because the companies were prepped up. So we'll be seeing a lot of launches. And as you mentioned, we have great phones from Xiaomi, Poco, Mi, Samsung, Realme, a lot of phones coming from Motorola too. I think it's better to find out what features do you need, what specs do you need. But again, starting with the Samsung M02S is one of the best phones in that category. Then you can, get the Redmi 9 series, which is again, a deal breaker for most, because, Redmi phone that offers everything. Then there is Poco series, which is very much, in sync with the youth. They really like the Poco series. It is trendy. It got great features, and especially the new Poco phone is definitely to look out for if you like, great looking devices. The yellow color is really eye catchy, got great set of features, cameras. And again, then if you are somebody who would want something like a Motorola or a Nokia, then you have options in that also. So a lot is happening in the budget category, and it's good for consumers because we get so many options. And that's the reason I think we'll be very busy this month.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want to actually talk a bit more on that point that you spoke right about in the beginning, Nikhil, that as we're all working from home, I think we've gotten more and more dependent on our gadgets. I have seen more instances of people roaming around with two phones than I did earlier, even though I think many phones used to come with this whole dual SIM thing. But now I think it's become very common to see people have a work phone and then a home phone. So, and I'm sure, when it comes to that extra phone, people will want to look at that, that budget category. But again, you don't need all your fancy specifications like you do when it comes to your main phone. So what would, if it's just a basic desk job that people are doing from home, what in terms of specs do you think should people look out for?
I think rightly pointed out, we've seen a lot more people with two phones, and it's a good thing because, you're not messing up your personal data with your work data. And if you can keep two devices, it's a great thing to do. Keep your logins of your personal Facebook, Twitter and all on one device, and a work device dedicated to that email, and nobody else is playing around with that device. So that's important, especially when you're at home. Like I'll press that point also, parents have to give their phones to kids, younger kids, and, people who are not very savvy with technology, and they try to mess it up. So it's good to have two phones, one for work. And if you're looking at a work phone, I think cameras are not of that most important, though most of these camera smartphones come with 3 or 4 cameras, but still it should not be on top priority list. It should be just the basic of you're doing photography and clicking documents and scanning documents. One important thing that you should take care of is that it should have good amount of battery and RAM, so that even if there's a power cut or if you're traveling while using your work phone, it has enough amount of battery. So the good thing is all these budget category smartphones have almost 5,000 to 6,000 mAh of battery, which should last easily for a day and a half. So you're sorted on that front. The other thing you should look out is the RAM, the amount of RAM. Don't go for the 2 GB variants or a 3 GB variant. Try to get more than 4 GB so that you have like a future-proof phone. You're not like thinking it has slowed down in an year. So that's important. Then, according to your budget, you can look at processors. So you can start with as low as Snapdragon 450 or a MediaTek processor and go up to the best that can offer in that segment. So I think the most important thing would be to have something with good amount of RAM and a good amount of space, because some phones do not have a memory card capacity or an option to store things in memory card. So go for like a 4 GB or a 128 GB option. That should keep you sorted for a few years.
All right. Another problem that all of us have faced, I think literally all of us, has been the issue of spams, has been the issue of privacy, safety, cybercrime, so on and so forth. Now, many gadgets, with the help of their disk encryption, sandbox user accounts, encrypted backups, always on VPN, so on and so forth. I mean, you will be better off in, telling us more about the technical terms, do tend to, make your phone better in privacy and security. So what would be, the critical metrics that you would watch out for, and which device you think stands out over there?
See, in terms of privacy, I would definitely recommend Apple smartphones, because they are known for their privacy, but not everybody is going out buying iOS devices. So if you're somebody who's looking at Android devices, then you can look at the Google Pixel devices, because they also have inbuilt security. They know what's best to be installed. They keep your device updated, always on top of the updates, and all the security patches and all are on time. So looking for a device that gives you on-time security updates and patches is important if you're an Android user. In iOS, you are pretty much secure because it's a very, shielded ecosystem. So you're not, able to transfer files to Bluetooth. It doesn't have a memory card slot. So many things in iOS that keeps it protected. But if you're an Android user, make sure that you're giving permissions to the right things. Like, for example, I've talked about it in the past also, but you download an app that doesn't need your location or doesn't need your contacts. Why are you giving access to it? If it's asking you mandatorily to give you access to everything from contacts to photos and everything, I think there's something wrong with that app, and you should not give access to all those things and find an alternative for that app. So it's really important to understand that what app access are you giving. You can always go to your smartphone settings, go to feature set, which shows that what all apps are using. So you can go to location, see what all apps have access to location. You can block them if you think it should not give access. The bare minimum access you should just give is keyboard, and that's about it. Avoid microphone and video cameras also, because if you don't think it needs access, for my personal tactics that I use to keep my phone secure is that I don't give access to any app unless and until it needed. Even Facebook or any other app doesn't have any location, any mic access, any camera access, any photo access. Any social media app, I have not given any access unless and until it's needed. So if I have to post something, I give access for that very moment, click it, capture it, share the location, and switch it off. So that way I know that at least I wouldn't be thrown ads where I was, what I was doing. And obviously then there are VPNs that keep you secure, that do not let you track your location and your settings and what you're surfing and what you're browsing. So that is the two safe ways to keep yourself safe in these times.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the basic privacy choices that every device offers us and accords us with respect to location, media, access, etc. So I think that's just a basic run-up to everything that you should sort of be careful of in your device. This is something that you can actually do right now as you're watching this program. So please do ensure you followed all of Nikhil's instructions. But on that note, we're out of time. So Nikhil, as always, a pleasure having you with us
Same, thank you.
on The Money Show. Thanks so much for taking out time.